Welcome to the Simmering Sessions. I'm Nicole Reed. This is where recipes are shared, stories are told, and every meal is an opportunity to bring people together. So pull up a chair, stay a while, and let's get something simmering. Hello and welcome to the table. I don't know about you, but I grew up in a kitchen where your nose was the kitchen timer and your eyes and ears were the instant read thermometer. Cooking was a sensory experience. It was more about those sensory cues than it was about measurements and timers. You sat around the kitchen table, you sipped your cup of ice cold Kool-Aid or sweet tea, you talked about your day at school, your parents talked about their day at work or just what went on in the neighborhood, and you knew when the bubbling of the grease came to a calm that the fried chicken was almost done. When the air was just filled with smells of toasted butter and caramelized sugar, that pound cake needed to come out of the oven. The kitchen is the heartbeat of the home. Now, in the last simmering session, I did have a question for everyone. What's that one meal that makes you feel like home? You ask for it every time you go back to visit. I'll tell you what mine is. And it definitely brings back memories. It's one of those classic comfort foods. The recipe that started it all for me was chicken and dumplings. We had it most holidays, but definitely every Christmas and Thanksgiving. And when I moved away from home, it was a thing that I asked my mom for every single time I came back to visit. I mean, to be honest, you probably have everything you need at home, if not almost everything, to make it yourself. It starts with the Southern Holy Trinity, so that would be celery, green bell peppers, and onion. Then there's some chicken involved and biscuit dough. There's other things too, but those are kind of the main ingredients. Now, when talking about dough, I prefer homemade dough. But in a crunch, you can use thawed frozen biscuits. Canned biscuits, for some reason, they just don't have the right texture for me. I don't know why. I've tried a few different kinds, but I just was never really pleased with those. Again, that's just my opinion. But if you do use canned biscuits, surprisingly, the cheapest ones, the store brand, whatever, those seem to work the best. And hey, why not save a few dollars on groceries while you're at it? But again, very few things are not good if they're not homemade. But I prefer homemade dough, just me. But again, back to that home field meal, whatever that is for you. I'm sure it doesn't just taste good. It also makes you feel good. Again, it's a sensory experience, cooking and just being in the kitchen in general. Think about when you're telling somebody about your favorite dish. What do? Probably goes a little something like this. You close your eyes, you take a slow, deep breath, and when you open them, you're smiling, and you've just been transported back to the last time you ate it or that loved one made it for you. You explain how it makes you feel like a hug from the inside out. How special you feel that loved one took out the time to make this dish just for you. Or simply the joy and eagerness that you felt when you smelled it being made. Most people will start out telling how that dish made them feel long before they get into the ingredients or any other detail. Because again, it just feels like home. Now, part of what makes these favorite meals or whatnot feel so special is because, again, someone made it for you. They cared enough to set aside time and resources to cook this for you. And you didn't have to make it yourself. Maybe you've actually tried to make it many times, but it just didn't turn out like it did when that cherished family member, the one you saw when you closed your eyes, it doesn't turn out like it did when they made it. You have the recipe, but something's never quite right. And you really need it to be. Because the times when home is not right around the corner, when home is 3 states away, or even on the opposite side of the country, you need that homey hug from the inside out. When I moved away from Mississippi in 2008, every time I came home, I asked my mom to make chicken and dumplings. And without fail, without hesitation, she did it every single time. She did it so much to the point where she gave me several "you better learn to make this yourself" speeches. And you know what, Mom? I did make it myself in the beginning, but it just wasn't like yours. I had a recipe, and in the beginning, I couldn't get it right. Close, but never quite on the mark. But when I did, when I finally nailed it, I knew there were no limits in the kitchen for me after that. Well, actually, you know what? Let's pause for a second. I do need to clear one thing up. Now, I know I just said I had her recipe. What I really mean is that I stood by her side for years and watched her drop stuff in a pot. I really cannot remember any of the family recipes we cooked being read from or written down. We just knew it, and we did it. Isn't it funny how one recipe can become a part of a family? We usually don't remember what we ate on a random Tuesday, but we remember that first meal that made someone say, "You have to make this again." I mean, this is how traditions of all kinds are started. It's not usually because you intentionally put something on the calendar. It's those random experiences that really had an impact on you or your family. And then along the way, someone said, "You remember when we did this? We should do it again." And before you know it, you can't remember a year where you didn't let the kids pick out one gift to open on Christmas Eve. Or a New Year's Day where you didn't have black-eyed peas, greens, and ham hocks with cornbread. I mean, what's that tradition for you? But back to when I finally got this recipe right. It was probably about 2011. And I'll tell you, I had not been getting it wrong because I had the ingredients wrong or I didn't follow instructions. The ingredients were the same. Yet this time when I made it, it finally had that home feeling that I was used to when my mom made it. And I'll tell you why. My daughter was 7. I was about to have my son. And my mom was in Mississippi and I was in Wisconsin. Home wasn't just around the corner. And not only did I need that feeling that I get when I ate my mom's chicken and dumplings, I wanted my children to have that feeling as well. So, what did I do? I turned on music. I chopped up the bell peppers, celery, and onion. I boiled the chicken until I had this beautiful, flavorful broth. Then I made the dough. And when it all came together, I had finally made my mom's chicken and dumplings. In that moment, I realized my children would grow up one day, move away from home, and I hope and pray that they would call me and ask me to cook their favorite meal. It didn't have to be chicken and dumplings, but it would give them that same feeling that I got when my mom cooked my favorite dish for me. I found the secret ingredient, and it wasn't chicken, and it wasn't dumplings. It was love. Now, it does help that my daughter actually asked me to make chicken and dumplings. And if I happen to make some for someone else and she finds out, I will be making extra for her. You know, I was able to become that sense of home on a plate for her. And that really did make me feel good. And who doesn't want to feel good? Everybody wants to. Everyone wants a memory of something to recall that reminds them of just those simpler times in life, before we had to get real jobs and pay our own bills, before we had to consider other people's opinions, before realizing that there is a difference between thinking you're an adult and actually having to act like you're an adult. Everybody wants a little bit of home from time to time. So let's be honest. Home is important. So many memorable moments in life happen there. Some of these moments you may want to forget, and some you retell over and over because you want to pass them on and you want to hold on to them forever. Whether they were good or bad, it's a place where core memories were made. It's a place you start out and you know you can always return to after life struggles. It's a place where you can be vulnerable and imperfect, and that's completely okay. Home is the origin of phrases like homing in, when you need to focus on something, or home plate in baseball. You start there, you return there. Or when you experience something that affects you just on this deep and personal level, what do you say? Man, that really hit home. I mean, it's the place you feel loved, accepted, and just free to be authentically you. I love that when I go home now, my mom, she doesn't have to make chicken and dumplings anymore. Primarily because she has clearly told me she's retired from cooking. I mean, she still cooks for herself, obviously, but she is over being the one to cook all the things for all the holidays. But home, this beautiful concept that we just talked about, is true for me, and it may be true for a lot of people, but not so much for others. Home does not have to be a physical address. For some people, home is wherever the person or people are that allow them to be themselves and help them build memories. It may be the neighbor that was your quiet hero because they saw the struggles and always made time for you and invited you in. It may be the family you married into and help you realize, like, this is what a real loving family looks like. It may be the church or a community group where you all started out as a group of strangers, but quickly and somewhere along the way, they became your biggest supporters. They became the ones that lifted you up and showed you that you are worthy of being placed first, and you do have something to offer the world. No matter what or who home is to you, it gives you purpose. It gives you confidence. And it creates those lasting memories that will live in your heart for forever. And when you find that, you want to carry it with you always in any way that you can. I mean, it could be a locket that you just hold close to your heart. Maybe it's a photo album with just pictures of your loved ones and all the fun things you guys did together. Maybe it's a family heirloom ring that's been passed down from generation to generation. Maybe it's about just experiences and things that you did, such as restoring classic cars with your uncle or aunt or something, and maybe you're carrying that tradition on with your kids or your nieces or nephews. For me, home is in meals shared and the conversations that happen over them. So cooking makes me feel like home. I feel confident when I pull off a complicated dish. I feel creative when my dishes are perfectly plated and I've made my son wait so that I can take my pictures and post them on Instagram. I mean, natural lighting does not just make your skin look good, it also makes your dishes look good. Cooking is my calm after a stressful day or week. It's my happy place. We should all have something that helps us release that pressure valve of life, because life is stressful. I mean, it isn't always that way, but it is. And we need to have something to help us just kind of calm down from those moments. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. I mean, don't limit yourself to one thing. I also enjoy reading books. I'm a part of a book club. I like to journal. I like going on coffee dates or wine dates with friends. I mean, I do a lot of things, and you should too. Find your calm. Find your sense of home. I promise you'll be better off for it. We have beautifully complex personalities. We are perfectly imperfect people, and we should be proud of that. I mean, imperfections, they make us unique and special, and let's face it, a lot more lovable. Nobody's perfect. Much like these imperfect dumplings that you make, or you can make when you make your own batch of chicken and dumpling. I mean, there are very few things that make me smile like I do when a pot of these are done. It's probably the meal that I taste test the most when I'm cooking. My daughter, she's loved them for years. And when my best friend and her daughter fell in love with them too and, asked for them all the time, that made cooking them all the more special. Now, my son, It did take him a little bit longer to join the Chicken and Dumplings fan club, but I am proud to say that he is hooked now too. What have you made that's completely surprised you, that you didn't think you'd ever be able to pull off? Or what's that one meal that your family still asks for? Or what's the recipe that you hope your kids remember someday and ask you to make when they've moved away from home? The chicken and dumplings recipe did more than just help me find my love for cooking. It reminded me that the things that shape our lives, they rarely announce themselves. Sometimes they begin with chopping an onion, stirring a pot, or just simply making a decision to try something new. Find out what that is for you. But before you push away your chair and clear the table, I have one more bite for you. Who taught you that food is another way to say, I love you? Thanks for spending a little time around my table today. Until next time, keep simmering, keep sharing, and don't forget to make room for one more at the table. Thanks for joining me for this simmering session. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love to have you back. Be sure to follow the simmering sessions. And if you know someone who could use a little inspiration in the kitchen, share this episode with them.